Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trek YT here, or Nick, back at it again with another brand new base showcase, and I'm actually really excited about today's episode. I've tried something a little different, probably in the title of the video. I tried to really, focus on the ceiling of this build. So realistically, the stuff around the bottom is, it's cool and all. I tried to put as much detail into that stuff, but I wanted to focus on how important a really good ceiling can really make a build. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into this video. So starting things off, this base is very symmetrical. The shape of this base is in an H. This base is just slightly bigger than 32 by 32, so it's on the smaller side, so that way, I guess people that want to get inspiration for smaller bases, I can show you guys how you can make a decent looking base with such a small amount of space. So I think it's just shy, or just a little bit over the top of 32. I think it's probably like 34 by like 34 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I can find the exact dimensions, but it really doesn't matter because it's pretty close to 32 by 32, so it's really beneficial for everybody. So you have basically the four wings. So this is like the H part. This is one side of the H. This is the little middle part. And then the H is over here. So everything in this base is relatively symmetrical besides the leaves and vines that are thrown in strategically to, break up all the symmetry that is there while keeping everything looking pretty much the same. So on each side, you have yourself a set of protected chests on either side, and you have yourself a set of, drop chests. Now, tons of storage in this base. Most of the time in factions bases, you're really only focusing on storages. Occasionally you'll have, or most of the time you'll have, grinders, stuff like that. And that's what you can do on other levels. But I try to focus on the storage room because I think that is the most neglected room in the entire base because people don't really care too much about, making it look really good. So you have on all four of these sides, you have one over here, you have one over here. They relatively are basically the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure the only thing that's probably changed up a little bit is like the block choice like this. There's a little bit different on each one just to create that randomness while also keeping everything structurally symmetrical. So we even have a bunch of random potted plants thrown in there with little random shelves just to throw in a little extra detail. So yes, you have all four of these are relatively the same. On the ends though, you have two separate things on the ends. You have a iron golem grinder, a smaller one on this side, and on the other side you have yourself an enchanting table. And then in the middle, in the little crossway, you really couldn't do too much with right here because if you break through this block right here, you can see that shows into the, chest over there. So you really are maximizing the space because this whole part right here isn't hollow. It's all filled up with chests and stuff like that, and same on this side. So in the middle, you have yourself some strategic anvils just to, fill up the space a little bit while also adding some function to it because you can use all of these anvils to repair your armor and swords and stuff like that whenever you need to. So that's the, walkthrough of how everything functions in the base. Now, the base itself, like I said earlier, is I was really focusing on the ceiling. Now, if you can look up, it's really, really grand. It's really vaulted. Everyone really likes a vaulted ceiling. In my opinion, a ceiling that is vaulted is really something that makes the base stand out. It really adds for, a lot more height in the base, obviously, but it just opens things up, makes things look a little bit more roomy. Now, up here we have a relatively, it's basically a repeating design over and over again, but again, we change up the blocks like this just to create that little bit of randomness, so that way it doesn't all be so stagnant, and also, it just looks a little bit better if you create yourself a little bit of texturizing in your base and make it as random as possible. So, on all of these sides, you basically have all of these things. On the corners, you have a little bit of a bigger one because there is such a bigger gap, and it's basically everything that's up here. And now, we really tried to focus on, or I tried to focus on having arches up at the top to create, a little division between each little, sector that I'm just repeating over and over again. It really adds for the, that standout detail of this really dark block that just breaks up everything, and it really makes things, stand out. It really accentuates everything and makes things look and pop a lot more. Now, I did do some world editing in here, so you can't achieve everything in here that you would in a normal SMP or factions base is what I'm trying to say, a normal survival. I did, world edit this block, and I also world edited it in this block. Now, I think that this, light thing right here is really actually pretty unique. I mean, I haven't seen too many people do this with using just the piston extended arm and then using the redstone block covered up. And then this is pretty, I guess I use this sort of often, but I guess this is just a little bit of a different thing that I don't normally do when I'm creating, I guess, hanging lights. But I always like to throw in hanging lights because I think they look really good rather than just hidden lights. I don't know, I really like to showcase my light sources as best as possible. Creating like little chandeliers, you can only do so much though with, I guess, glowstone and I guess lanterns and stuff like that in this game, but I think using them is a very good idea when it's coming to building and creating light sources. Don't hide your light sources too often. Try to make them, I guess, right there in your face, but make them look good at the same time. And last but not least, I went through the entire base at the very end and added in details, such as all these hang leaves. I really like the idea of having things overgrown. I haven't done a base like that in a little bit, so I really made the base really overgrown. I ended up missing that block right there, but basically everything is overgrown in here. We have, I guess, vines strategically in here. We have leaves strategically in here, creating almost representing vines as well. Vines intertwined everywhere. They're placed really randomly, but not too overcrowded, so it doesn't cover up all the other stuff that's in the base. And then I again went through, added flower pots, went back, added some painting stuff to really create small details that are subtle, but at the same time really stand out and bring all the characters together inside this base. Since I couldn't really do too much with these flat walls right here, I ended up adding in some stairs to create slight depth in this wall just to break it up, because if I didn't add this wall would be really bland, even with the texturing that I had in there already. This is just a really important building technique that if you have a flat wall that you can only leave flat, you can't change it because there's stuff behind it like I have right here. Adding in stairs that have the same color or same block, so these are both stone bricks, this really creates slight depth and it really makes this wall pop a little bit more than it would have if I didn't have this. So I guess that's just a really good building technique for those that don't really know how to transform a flat wall when you can only have it flat to begin with. So I think that's a really good way to do that, and I'm really happy how this turned out. Now I finished off the floor with just a random, I guess, small palette of wood and I guess clay combined. I think it looks really good. I wasn't really too sure to do it with the floor. If you ever don't know what to do with your floor, if you create a good random pattern on the floor, it really looks really good. I don't know why. I think just the randomness of it all together with all the colors clashing together in the floor, it really makes it pop and it really does look not half bad. I think you could have went other ways with this floor, making like a very, I guess, dull floor with just all one block, or you could have went with something more, I guess, symmetrical, like creating a pattern on the floor. One thing that I do not suggest is creating yourself a checkerboard pattern on your floor. Like, people often like to go ahead and do like clay, and like a diagonal pattern, and then wood, or something like that. They like to repeat blocks, so that way it's just two blocks in just diagonal patterns, and I think that that's a very, I guess, noobish way to build, and I think people think it looks very good, but in my opinion, I think it looks really bad. So I think if you can mix it up, try something different with your floor, maybe do something like I have done here, or maybe try something different. Really try to mix up things, try new things, just to see if it works out, and if it does, great. There you go, you got a brand new floor that looks really good. Now let's take our last little walkthrough through this space so you guys can really see the details that I added. Like right there, there's slight, I guess, cobblestone walls there. I just tried to add as much detail in just the most minute places to make this space look as good as possible. Even though it's so small, I was really able to, I guess, use the height that I had available to create a much more grand base. I think that is really what made this base stand out, is the height really makes this base seem much more open. If I really cut off all the walls or the height right at this level right here, I feel like it would have looked a lot tinier, a lot more cramped, but since I opened up the ceilings, it really gave me that, I guess, concept that this base is a lot larger than it really is. So I think that is what really was the key point in this base, and I think the one I wanted to focus on this base was really showing how important height and ceiling can really make your base and transform it into something that it really isn't actually being. So I think that's a really good building concept, is just creating really tall ceilings. So I guess that's what I wanted to focus on in this video. If you guys did enjoy today's base showcase, let me know down in the comment section below. I know you guys, there's a very select few of you guys that really enjoy these and really come to these. I understand there's a lot of you guys that are coming here for schematics and stuff like that. Again, every video I say the same thing. I'm sorry guys, but I really don't want to put schematics in here, because there's this saying, you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and feed him for life. So that's basically the same concept that I have going on here. I don't want to just give you guys a build and you guys can use it one time. I want to give you guys concepts, ideas, tips to building in general, so that way you guys can build and be creative in your own way, so that way you don't have to go searching YouTube for specific builds that you want to copy. I just want to teach people rather than just give it to them. So I'm sorry for those that are here for, I guess, schematics. You're really never probably going to get them. I've done them a couple times. I've, I guess, tested them out. I didn't really like the, I guess, the feedback that I got, because I felt like people were just coming here to just steal the things that I've built for them. I just personally don't want to use schematics. So I'm sorry for those people that are here for that. That is not something you're going to get here. As always, guys, I love you all. See you guys later. Peace out.